Okay, so as a precursor to our exploration of the topic of immigration, we are considering the American identity and what it means to be an American. And I think an important perspective to have on this question would be to examine our founding document and to consider what the Declaration of Independence might reveal about our American identity. Before we examine one of the most important portions of our founding document, the self-evident truths section, I would like you to consider what do you already know about the Declaration of Independence. I want to try and put you in the mindset of the period and maybe connect to some of your prior knowledge about our Declaration or our Revolutionary period. So, I've got a Wordle here in front of you on this slide, and I'd like you to review all the terms listed in the Wordle and use that to initiate a brainstorm and create a list of terms or people, events, or values that you associate with the Declaration of Independence. So at this time, I'd ask you to pause the video for maybe a minute, no more than 3 minutes, and create a list on a piece of paper of the terms, people, events, and values that you associate with the Declaration of Independence. Please pause the video now. Okay, so now that you have had a chance to reflect on some people or events or prior knowledge you may have about our Declaration of Independence, I want to jump right into the text of the Declaration and perhaps the most important part of our Declaration of Independence, which is the self-evident truths section. So much of our Declaration of Independence, as you know, is about declaring our independence from the British and explaining the reasons why, considering the many, many grievances that we had against the king. And Thomas Jefferson presents those grievances much like a lawyer would present his arguments before a court. But before he delves into that extended prosecution of the British, in his second paragraph, he writes probably the most famous portion of the Declaration of Independence, which I'll read aloud to you now as you read along with me. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it. An important phrase or term upon which this entire paragraph rests is the term self-evident. Self-evident describes something which is obvious to all, does not require any explanation or elaboration. And before declaring the 5 self-evident truths or the principles upon which our nation was founded, Jefferson describes them as self-evident, meaning that they are understood by all. The first truth, which I have underlined, is the phrase probably most well known from the Declaration, which is, all men are created equal. Now, this has been a controversial term that has meant different things depending on the time period, and also meant different things to different people. But it is most certainly one of the most important phrases of that document, and is the foundation for our first self-evident truth of the Declaration, which is equality. The second fundamental truth is our unalienable rights, which you also see is underlined right here. He describes our unalienable rights as life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Now, unalienable is a term which describes rights which cannot be taken away from you. They are your natural rights and freedoms that you are born with, and no authority figure nor any other individual should be able to take those fundamental rights. The third self-evident truth is underlined on the fourth line, and it begins with the word secure. To secure these rights, governments are instituted among men. And in this phrase, Jefferson establishes the purpose of government, which fundamentally is to preserve order, but to go beyond that, to secure the rights of its citizens. The fourth truth can be found right after the word just, and actually should include this entire phrase, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. The power of the government comes from the people. And the fifth and final truth, underlined down here at the bottom, is it is the right of the people to alter or change their government, or even to abolish it through rebellion, if it becomes destructive of these ends. In essence, being destructive to these ends would be the government violating the unalienable rights or the principles of equality that are defined earlier in the paragraph. So, these are the 5 fundamental truths upon which this nation is founded upon. I'll review them here on the last page. They are essential to the American identity. Now, their meaning has changed over time, but they were always, since our founding, an essential component of what it means to be an American. And they are, to repeat, as follows. Number 1, the principle of equality. Number 2, the idea that all Americans have fundamental rights which should not be denied to them by others or our government. 3, the fundamental responsibility of government is to protect our rights. 4, the power of government comes from the people, not from wealth, not from bloodline, not from social status or military power, but the source of government authority is the people, consent of the governed. And 5th is this idea that when our government is unjust, when it does not recognize our equality or violates our rights, then that justifies change or rebellion. These truths could be seen in our birth certificate, the Declaration of Independence, as the foundation of the American identity. From here, we'll be exploring additional perspectives which will expand our understanding of the American identity.